Okay, this should be alive. I'm testing this out. Hello, everyone. Willkommen to your weekly horoscope and taroscope with me, Natalie, spelled N-A-T-A-L-E-E. We're going to open up the energies of your week ahead using astrology, using the tarot. And as you can see from the title, I am calling this week the pre-drama before the big drama. And part of that is because we're on a waning lunar cycle, the last phase of a lunar cycle before the partial solar eclipse that is happening next week on Tuesday, October the 25th. So this last full week before then is just going to be like little dramas sort of playing themselves out. And I would say, let me just make sure this is actually doing all of this before I continue on and do this entire thing. Okay, so it does look like it is working. Okay, little dramas finishing out because of that very painful full moon in Aries conjunct Chiron. So we're already in the eclipse energy. You're going to be feeling it much more towards the end of the week. That is really where all of the big things are happening, and it's happening on a balsam. Like, it's just a lot of stuff is popping off and happening right before like some big huge thing is happening. So the end of the week is when people are probably going to be feeling a little bit more freaked out. Freaked out. So all right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. I'll come back with, actually, what should I do for timestamps? Let me give me, I'll start it with this part. Okay, let's start with Monday. Oopsie. There we go. Monday, October the 17th. Here we have, and I have our little aspectarian down here. Okay, so on Monday, we have the quarter moon, the waning, losing in light, quarter moon in Cancer. We also have the sun in Libra trining over to Mars. Basically very, very stationary in the sky in Gemini. There's also something kind of happening with Venus also trining Saturn with, but it's just, I'm calling Monday get with it, because this quarter moon in Cancer, when the moon squares, actually really square, okay, it does. When the moon squares the sun, that's your quarter moon. When it's losing in light, this is a quarter moon in consciousness. This is not where you meet some kind of obstacle and you just push ahead, like the first quarter moon, the crisis in action. This is the quarter moon where you have to practice acceptance, and you have to like understand that this is what it is, or like it's going to be what it's going to be, or it's not what it's not. Like it's just like a very acceptance filled energy. So any of the blockages that are coming up are probably going to be much more internal, could have to do with relationships or inside of relationships in that dynamic. There's a single person, another single person, and together you guys form this third entity. And that's something with charts as well. So when you take one person's planets into another chart, that is synastry. But when you take the midpoints between your sun and your Venus and their Venus, and so on and so forth, that's a whole third entity. That's called your composite chart. I do some of that in the consigliere sessions, which you guys can book to do anything astrologically curious, you know, if you're relocating, if this is a relational thing, whatever it happens to be. So this quarter moon, like I said, last one before the solar eclipse, it is very emotional, and it is very much of a shedding that's happening. You know, people are letting go of either holding out a hope, or they're letting go of just some kind of perception. It doesn't have to be judging it immediately. Is this good or is it bad? It's acceptance, you know, so accepting everything, accepting how you feel, accepting the way the situation is, so on and so forth. So letting things go, Sunday to Monday, acceptance, focus on an emotional adaptation is going to be what helps you through the rest of the week. Okay. How am I going to do? Oh, so the sun in Libra, I forgot that part. Sun in Libra is trining over to Mars at, geez Louise, 24, 29 Gemini. they will not go further than 25 degrees of Gemini. That is where they will station. Actually, when does that? Wednesday. Gosh, that's so slow. Mars is going so slow right now, you guys, because the stationary periods are more impactful and more like meaningful. So it'll be a couple days till they reach the 25th degree, but then they're stuck. You know, they're just like going through quicksand and just like getting there. The more you struggle, the slower it's going to go with that Mars and Gemini, which is going to be frustrating because Gemini is like lickety split. So with the sun trining over to Mars, I feel like that's just so. Oh, hello, welcome. Thank you. With this trine, I just feel like there's something, how you want to use your Mars retrograde. God, this one killed me in 2020. The last 6 months of 2020 was Mars retrograded in Aries, which was my natal Mars. So let me just talk about that for a sec. And this is another reason why I'm live streaming, is because I do want to do my videos over on Patreon for my kings and queens and do all that stuff. So it's just faster to do this live. And I also like to say hi to you guys over here on YouTube. So feel free to stop by, say hi, drop a question, etc., and come back to it later. With Mars retrograde, it's just not the time to push really hard in terms of, first and foremost, with conflict. Absolutely not. Whoever fires the shot, it's going to blow up in your face. I repeat, whoever fires that first shot, it will blow up in your face. Okay, you might have seen that happen actually as early as the first Mars-Neptune square. So that was last Tuesday, Wednesday, October the 11th, 12th, depending on which hemisphere you are on Earth in. Bad prepositions. So that's going to happen 2 more times. It's going to happen 2 more times. So long as you are not the one launching that first attack, you will be okay. And there should be no reason for you to launch any first attacks. So just be good. But that's actually going to be really hard. And I will explain because of the Scorpio energy. So the fact that the sun is trining over to Mars it tells me 2 different things. And it depends on how you guys are using your energy. If you are using this energy well and positively and constructively, you will be able to make headway in terms of getting something up and running again. So if you wanted to get something going and it really wasn't successful before and you weren't able to get it going before, you may be, and especially in the Gemini, especially in the Gemini area of life, you might be able to get that, sorry, I'm so squirmy. You might be able to get that going throughout this Mars retrograde. And this sun on Monday trining over to that Mars could actually help you with bringing in the right person or the right people, or having the right conversations, having the right just connections, like on that mental level. So you could, so just, I would say, remember, real positive here, reach out, say the thing, because someone else could come in and really help you. Especially if something did not work before, especially anything idea-wise or mentally, someone could come in to really help. And that's actually, you're going to be feeling, that's probably like over the weekend coming into Monday, but you're going to be feeling it, or feeling it like in their mind, like mental tinglies and stuff. So if people are using it very not productively and more deconstructively, you know what? I'm going to put in the chat where we are, because in case you guys are watching this, we're in Monday. Y'all. Oops. Oh, I can't do emojis quite perfectly. Did I? Oh, I did. Okay. Hi guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there football happening? I'm sorry. Feel free to enjoy your football and come back to me later. Oh, you guys are sweet. Yes, if people are using this in like the nefarious way, then they're going to fall where they've fallen before, where they're going to kind of, it's like you're starting to get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're starting to get into the, you're starting to get into some, because this Libra energy, Libra season, it's just very superficial. It doesn't want to get too deep. It doesn't want to get complicated. It just wants peace. And so Libra says, if we all just adhere to the manners and the decorum, the Robert's Rules of Order, if we all just like manners and, great. but you know, it's like bad manners to bring up things like politics and abortion and religion at the dinner table. So that's going to be in Scorpio season, where the freaking mask gets ripped off faces and everyone's like ghouls and goblins and stuff like that. So yeah, so don't worry about that. Like if people are being very nefarious, don't worry about that, because you will have the protection of that Mars retrograde. So like I said, anyone that's trying to like really be real ugly and deconstructive or fighting and conflict, they're just going to get all of that thrown back in their faces. And it's pretty quick. Like this is pretty quick karma on like a Mars retrograde, just like on that Mercury retrograde with those trines to Pluto, like just not getting it. Like with the Mars square to Neptune that we're going to have, it's just part of the next few months. That's going to get caught. Like people are going to get caught doing anything behind the scenes backhanded. People are going to get caught cheating. People are going to get caught embezzling. People are going to, oh, I'm sure there's going to be some crazy stuff coming out that gets uncovered about scandals and cheating. And, you know, that Mars Neptune is getting what you want in an indirect way, which can be nefarious. And it could be, you know, really, what's that called? Beyond the pale. Could be beyond the pale, could be crossing the lines, or it could be where you're like the Seven of Swords, where you can actually sort of like set a precedent, which is kind of something that's happened. I'm only interpreting it that way because of other things that are happening overlaid with that. So like it's not always like that. So Monday, you know, you could, whatever is crumbling, whatever's ending, you are accepting it, you are releasing it, you are emotionally adapting to it. And, you know, talk to people that really do have your best interest at heart. Talk to people that that care to help you either get something going again, or care to believe in you again, or care to you know, help you. Who are your allies? Who are your like real allies? Like not Libra allies, more. And I'm not saying that Libras aren't great allies. Like Libras make like the best generals in the armies, and they're great, wonderful negotiators and diplomats. But I'm just saying, with that connection to Mars and Gemini, you do just want to make sure that it's like real, you know, very substantive. Aw, I love you guys. I love you guys too. Hey Carl, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. So that but the Venus to Saturn also on a Monday. Venus is at 23 Libra. So we're kind of 18, 19, 20, 20, 20. So it's like past it. It's already past that Venus trine to Saturn. You're still maybe feeling like a little bit of that. There could still be something that you had solidified. When was that? That was like Friday. Okay, so before the weekend, you could have like had something going or got something like really that you're feeling really good about. And coming into this week, you're building off of that with aligning your goals and your ambitions with other people that have the same motivations as you. So like I said, you could start something up again. Things can be coming together. It's very mature and sober, serious relationships with serious gains and resources. So just really realizing like, either like, yeah, we are all in this together, or this person can really help me. I could really learn from this person, or, you know, whatever that is. So, okay, let's move on to Mother of Pearl. Tuesday. Oh, I'm so bummed I can't do emojis. I'll do that if I can. Can I do that? All right, that's as good as we have right now. Okay, so on the Tuesday, okay, on Tuesday, I'm calling it like syncing up, in sync, syncing with others. And that's partly, are we on Tuesday? Yes, we are. And partly because of that, partly is because of that Venus trining over to Mars. I actually like Tuesday as like maybe like one of the better days of the week because of that Venus trine to Mars. I'm not just saying that because I have my Venus trine Mars in the fire signs. So this is gonna be, you know, pretty great. But, you know, Venus in Libra trining over to that Mars. Again, Mars is like stationary, not really gonna be doing a whole lot. You know, more about just standing still and then going back over ground that we've already covered from 25 degrees of Gemini ago. So again, like this is syncing. It's easy to get along. It's, you know, it's very mentally energizing. It's very much that you can relate to others because of your same goals, your same drives, your same motivations. And because Mars is going to be super still and then go retrograde, this is very likely, like, even if it's something new building, it will have something to do with going back and getting something going again, or paying attention to your ego drives and your action drives and how you did something before. So definitely specifically how we talk to people, how we talk at all, how we discuss things, what we discuss. Maybe if it was a rule that we don't talk about things at the dinner table, maybe now we're ready to break that rule and talk about things at the dinner table, you know. So that Mars, so specifically if people are, this, I'm gonna say this is probably gonna be like a very big talking, little action taking time for people that we're gonna see in our lives and on the global stage, of a lot of talk and a lot of hot air. And it's going to be confusing, and there's going to be a lot of misleading, and people are going to have real strong feelings about that, about all of that stuff. So, you know, just be really careful. Just be really, really careful. And, you know, people trying to convince you of things. This is the weird thing, is that you can't really, like, even like in this day and age, keeping people honest and protecting yourself with your boundaries are just, it's getting harder in a way, but it's also easier in a way. It's like we have some gains in some areas and we have some setbacks in others, and you really have to make the best of whatever you have available to you, using all of your resources to create your life and sustain your life. Because this ongoing Mars retrograde in that long square to Neptune, you could have all the proof and all the evidence in front of someone and push it to them and think that you're pinning them, and think that you're saying, like, look, this is the truth, this is the facts, this is it. And that other side, or that other party, you know, your wife, your husband, your daughter, your son, they're just going to gaslight you if they want to perpetuate that lie. So what you have is either that real surrender, that actual humbling, or you have people that are going to double down on their lives. They're going to double down on whatever it is, whatever it happens to be. So I like Tuesday, like I said, because it's one of those days that stands out from all of that, because Venus in Libra cares about being and staying on the same page. So it's almost like anyone that needs to, you're going to be able to drop down to that lowest level of consciousness, like that lowest common denominator, and get along with everybody, you know, and like find that frequency where you can connect. So if you guys have any discussions or anything to talk about, or like, I would probably pick Tuesday, because the rest of the week is a little bit unpredictable and it just gets more intense. So that's Tuesday. Let's move on to Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday the 19th. I'm calling it check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that's because we have the Sun square Pluto. Here we've got Pluto chilling at 26 degrees of Capricorn, recently stationed direct as of Saturday the 8th of is that the 8th? Yes, the 8th of October. And is that it? Is that all we have on that day? Yeah. I mean, there's other stuff, but actually the moon's going to be in Leo. Okay, so for those couple of days, what was that? That's like Tuesday, Wednesday. The moon's going to be in Leo and activating a lot of change Tuesday, Wednesday. So Tuesday's the better day for relating, but then Wednesday is when you may feel or see more visibly the agitation that comes with change. That Sun in Libra, there's an area of your life where you have a goal, a dream, an ambition, where you want to make the deal, you want to get along, you want to be looked upon in a very positive light, you want others to see you very, like, you want them to see you as someone like a Libra. You want them to see, like, hey, they're great to work with, or hey, life is good with them around, or wow, they're so pleasant, or, you know, they're so likable. You know, Libra really cares about being likable. So that is running straight into Pluto in Capricorn, which is saying, I'm not approving this. Like, you can say it as nicely as you want, but I'm not approving this. And that's Wednesday. Thursday is Venus squaring Pluto. So Wednesday, Thursday are already going to be like, and here's the thing, like, this is a whole thing as we get into Scorpio season. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. So this is kind of like, this entire week, the pre-drama is going to be everyone getting really triggered and really sensitive, because they know that there's death and change and irreversible change. Things are never going back to the way they were before. People know that, and even though they can't stop it, they won't change their attitude towards it. So they're either going to self-destruct, or they're going to act out and act really badly, or they're going to kind of just... I didn't know that spazzing out was like a bad thing to say. I'm sorry. But my family said that about me like all the time. Like, called me a spaz and said that I was spazzing. Like, don't spaz out. They said that all the time. And I just thought it was like an affectionate thing to say, but I guess that it is not an affectionate thing to say. Aww. Oh, Lord of the Rings. How cool. I love Lord of the Rings. That was such a bonding thing with my mother too. That's cool. I haven't watched any of the pre-Lord of the Rings show, but maybe one day. Okay, you can tell us how it is. So on Wednesday, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Here's the thing. The reason why I'm calling it pre-drama before the big drama is because of this. Like, this Pluto Scorpio influence is triggering people's subconscious drives and motivations. They don't know this about themselves. It's cognitive dissonance. No one wants to think of themselves as ageist. And then they have an experience where they are perpetuating ageism. So they're going to see their outside reality reflect that and show them that they just said something ageist. And they're going to have a fucking shit attack because of it. And when that cognitive dissonance gets broken, it's just like a messy thing, you know? Like, it takes freaking professionals to be able to, I mean, not professionals, but like mature people. It takes maturity to see that in people, be able to put down your boundaries, be able to communicate, be able to move forward, be able to handle the situation, you know? So you're going to see that all this week, and holy shit, next week is going to be... So do your best that you can do with this week while you have like a little bit of this Libra stuff left, because all that's going to be stripped down. That's just the acid on top of, you know, the whatever. Like, we're just burning it all away so that the truth of the thing is like actually there. So that Sun Pluto square, and this is like, I never tell you guys like how to use squares because it's just too it's just too much. Like, I don't ever see it in my practice, and I've by now like thousands and thousands of astrology readings, just plain astrology stuff. I hate to say this and I hate to think this way, and I really always resented it when I heard other astrologers saying this, because I'm such a huge free will person and I will continue to believe in free will. But what I'm seeing, the empirical research that I'm seeing, is that people really do right on time with these transits, and people always react from that subconscious place, the subconscious mechanism. I rarely see people that can harness this kind of power, because listen, Sun square Pluto, it can be empowering. It can actually be empowering to your goals and objectives, but you have to overcome the situation first, which means you have to overcome your subconscious triggers first. You have to overcome your subconscious reactions and overcome your own feelings, your own ego. You have to overcome your own ego issues first to get it. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm going to be reading astrology like lowest common denominator from here on out, and I'll save everything else for like the Patreon and stuff, because I know those people are like doing it, like they're like applying all of the stuff. So look out for compulsive ego drives and people being super activated. People are going to be so easily triggered. They're going to be triggered to see change as a personal attack or a personal threat. They're going to see change as a personal attack to their goals and their wants. If you go in to apply for something and you get a rejection, you're going to take it personally. It's going to trigger like an authority issue that you have, and you're going to look at that authority, that whoever gave you the denial or whoever checked you or whoever, showed you the truth of something when you were trying to be maybe light and superficial and hokey and whatever. You're going to resent whatever that Capricorn area of life is giving you that biting reality. You're going to resent it, so it's like, I would say that's Wednesday might not be the day to, people are just going to be super triggered. So reschedule if you can. Work out instead. Go for a run, or do, what's that, the paintball and you hide and seek. I don't know, like something, like that. Go be active, climb a mountain or something. That's better. That's going to be, be careful, like be very, very careful. Like this could even be violence. That could definitely be violence. All right, let's move on to, where was that? That was Wednesday. So now we're moving into Thursday. Okay. This moment here. Thursday. All right. Hold on. Sorry. Thursday, I'm calling it scorched earth intensity, and this is a huge warning to women. Okay, guys, for real, just be very careful. This happens a couple times a year. Take my guidance. I'm a Mercury Pluto person, so of course I'm going to talk like this. It's like very, I don't know, I wouldn't call it paranoid, others might, but be diligent. Do not relax. Don't lax your boundaries. Don't lax anything. Take all of your precautions. Be very diligent. Preserve yourself. Reserve all of your rights. Okay, you have rights. All rights reserved. Just think that. Maybe I should have called it that. All rights reserved. I reserve. Can I ask you a question? You can ask me anything you want. I can always reserve my right not to answer. Okay, be extra mad-eye moody about it if you need to think that way. Because this Venus coming into the square right behind the sun with Pluto, with this pileup happening with all this Libra, Sun, Venus, and then eventually going to be Mercury squaring Pluto, that's going to be next Thursday, actually, next week. This is no more superficiality. All of the fakery has to come down, and then then you're going to see how scared people really are. Everyone that was so confident in Libra season, you're going to see them all freaking changing. And it's like with these eclipses, people are going to be feeling super out of control of their lives, like things are happening. Anyway, so Venus square Pluto, scorched earth intensity, compulsive obsessions, and revulsions. Something is repulsive to you are being activated. So the day before you had the ego and the drives and the motivations, all that stuff being super activated. Now that Venus is getting the ping, it's like people are just going to be feeling really, both days people are going to be feeling insecure, but for different reasons. On the Venus square to Pluto, people are going to be feeling like they're lovers, their children, their possessions. Some people are obsessed with like pecking order, their status, their money, their jobs, their positions, their favor, like all of the, whatever the values happen to be, their bodies, all of that stuff, they're going to be feeling like that's being personally attacked. You're going after my girlfriend, you're going after my boyfriend, or if they're super like that, that's a total projection of their own insecurity. So whoever's obsessed, and you're going to see this all week, people's obsessions being triggered. So the more insecure people look this week, you know exactly their soft point. I'm like, did I say a word after that word? The soft spot. Okay. So keep that in mind. Like when if your boyfriend or girlfriend out of nowhere starts getting super suspicious of you, they might be talking to someone, or they might be doing something, or they might be, you know what I'm saying? It's very projection-y. It's very, if it's not like that obvious, then people will be communicating very superficially on the surface, like maybe asking for something, but there's a hidden subtext underneath it where it's not really an ask. It's not really an ask. It's do this. And I want to make it look like it's peaceful. I want to make it look like I'm asking you, but I'm not really asking you. Catch my drift? That's Thursday. So again, this is a warning to women because Venus is going to represent and have to do with that, especially if you are trans. Be so careful. You guys are under so much like literally life-threatening situations, and this is just one of those energies that I could see where the violence could happen. Okay, especially if something's been building or if things have been real nicey. So just be extremely careful with yourself. Be extremely careful with who you put yourself around specifically. Pluto is so underworldly, and especially in fucking Capricorn. Like, it's just really like the worst of the worst type of thing. Like, and here's the thing with that. Of course, we don't want to think of people being that way. However, some people can get to a point, whether it's through drugs, like hallucinogenic drugs, or if it's through alcohol abuse, or if it's through whatever else, you disconnect yourself from source. People can burn out their etheric web. People can totally be very disconnected from their higher self, and they're just ego drives and primal human behaviors, and they're just their subconscious programming, and they're not really conscious. They think that they're making independent decisions, but they're not. And those are the most dangerous, and that's why they're the most dangerous, because they don't have a concept of self-awareness or self-reflection. And it's really obvious to see with people that have addictions or struggle with addictions, because that's a very literal example of power not in your control. And everything I teach is about self-mastery. So, you know, it's like, it's harder to see when people have like mental and emotional addictions and they're being driven by that subconscious programming. But you will see it Wednesday, Thursday. Whatever people are attacking, whatever people are overcompensating for, whatever people are putting in the subtext, a lot of aggression, but they want it to look like it's not aggressive. That's exactly what their program is. So people are going to be, at one point, on one hand, they're going to be very like veiled or sort of confusing or confused or deceptive or self-deceptive. But on the other hand, because you guys are here, you're on Patreon. So when I was a kid, I just thought having a website was the coolest fucking thing in the world. Like, when I grew up, I was like, I'm going to have my own website. So my first website was 𝚃𝚑𝚎𝚢.com. And then one of my second ones was TheFirstArteagan, and now we have 𝚃𝚑𝚎𝚢.com. Make sure to check out. Really email Apothecafe for health stuff. Okay, she will get you sorted. Trust me on that. But why are we talking about my websites? I don't know, Venus, Pluto. I don't know, but just know that people are going to be. Oh, that's right. Because I was talking about being able to see, because you guys are here, you guys are on Patreon, you guys are on TheFirstArteagan, you guys are on the Wholesome Occultist, you guys are going to be seeing how transparent people really are, but not because you can really see it in themselves. It's because you can see it in yourself. That allows you to be able to see it in other people. That is the only way that you're going to see it. You're never going to be only able to see it in other people and never able to see it in yourself. If you think you can get away with understanding other people without being self-reflective first, those people are living in their ego minds. And they're the ones that think that the world is the problem. Other people are the problem. If only other stuff would change. If only other circumstances would change. If only other people would change, everything would be fine. And that's not you. That's not us. Okay. So when you feel, because you're going to feel triggered Wednesday, Thursday, it's what you do with that. It's how you alchemize that. It's how long do you let that last? And you know better not to take action on that energy. So you just let everybody else spin their wheels and self-sabotage, and you stay above all of that. Okay. So Thursday, that Venus square Pluto, it looks very dangerous. It really does. And I feel like it's kind of dangerous because of the Mars trine, honestly. Like trines, I don't really judge trines, and I don't judge aspects as good or bad. I just see it all as like the way energies are connecting, the way sources of energies, the planets, are connecting to each other, the aspects. I actually like squares more than trines, but it's because I know how to use them. So you really have to know what you're doing, and that's why I do not recommend using squares. I recommend you use sextiles and trines. And then I tell you how to steer clear of all the crazy stuff happening with the oppositions and the squares, because it's enough to just try and stay out of the line of fire. That's all I want you guys to focus on is, you know what I'm saying? If you can avoid the traps, then you'll be able to, still go for your goals. Whereas when you're in the higher level of occultism, then you can use everything. So let me catch up on some of the chat here. Gee, I love my group. I love you guys. Like I love this. I do. Beautifully. Not world. Woman Unchained, Natalie Unchained, Resistance, and Tears for Fears. I think there is a song I know by Tears for Fears. I think I do like that song, but I forgot what it's called. Okay, so anything else I want to say about Venus squaring to Pluto? Now, this does say that values have to change. So whatever you don't like, whatever's really bothering you Wednesday, Thursday, it has to change. It has to evolve. It has to, and that's why it could be very dangerous for women, because, you could be a woman that everyone wants, not like everyone wants something from you. It's like but they want you to look a certain way. They want you to fulfill a certain fantasy in their world. Women are very common throughout history, the ideal board for the subconscious projection of the masses and of individuals. It's a huge, huge thing. So women especially how women are treated are very representative of where society is developmentally, because it's so representative of subconscious activity and subconscious drives. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be that there's that cognitive dissonance about women, femininity. Oh, I like that you look this way, but I don't want you to talk about this. Or I don't want your opinion on this. I just want you to talk about this. Or, like there's some kind of break there that could build a lot of resentment and anger and fury. And in the worst case scenario, and you need way more to validate this, but in the worst case scenario, it could be violent. It could be something very violent. So, you can't be like too careful. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather be like paranoid and just stay home and miss out on like some party than go and try to be careless or something. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That cute little, I think he's like a dinosaur. Thank you, Calvin. Oh, you guys. But that's also like, so anyone trying to control you, control what you look like, control who you talk to, control where you go, control what you post on your Instagram, control what you say, what you don't say, all of that is such a big red flag. It's because someone's feeling extremely insecure. So, but this could also be like a financial fight as well. Definitely fighting over resources, fighting over money, that kind of a thing. Values, any kind of value system. Oh, I'm not doing, okay. Let's see. So that's a lot about Thursday. Okay. And Friday. Welcome, Wilkommen to Friday, the 21st of October. I'm calling it Make Hay While the Sun Shines. So that Wednesday, Thursday gnarliness. Let me see. Oh, there it goes. All right, let's see. 6, 5, 4, 3. Wow. This whole week. The whole week, starting Monday, you're actually going to be feeling that Sun, Venus square to Pluto. How long is that going to last? Let me see. It's going to be the whole week. Great. It's going to be the whole week. People, you're going to be feeling it gaining, peaking, and fading all week. But it's going to reach its crescendo Tuesday, Wednesday. And then it's going to fall, but that's going to lead you right into the solar eclipse in Scorpio. So this is like the last week of the fakery and the fake nicey nice before fucking like all the gloves come off and you see that people are fucking this. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, let me get us on the right day. What are we on? It's Friday. This was when like the pandemic first came out, like it's an album, right? First came out and people were buying all the toilet paper. That's so Scorpio, sacral chakra, like fear and insecurity and stuff like that. And that's fine if you did. That's fine. I am not judging you. I did not, and so I did run out of toilet paper. But I just took a shower whenever I went to the bathroom, and so I showered like a couple times a day, and I was super clean. I was ordering food for delivery at that time, and then everyone started to do it, and I couldn't do that anymore. So I ordered these gift baskets off Amazon, like food gift baskets, like the crackers and sausage, and I got this big round thing of chocolate. It was awesome. So I ate that for groceries for a couple of weeks, and it was okay. You know, like, so you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Especially if you're in America, there's food everywhere. There's dumpsters to restaurants with free food everywhere. When I worked at Panera Bread for like a week, maybe 10 days, they threw out all of their pastries every day. So I know fucking Panera's garbages has fucking fresh ass pastries, you know? So it's like, I want you guys to feel confident, you know. Aw. Thank you. I want you guys to feel confident, and I want you to feel only when you have fear does anyone have any power to use that fear against you. Okay? So like all this insecure stuff, like, you know, like narcissistic tendencies, they just want to trigger you. They just want to get a reaction out of you. That's it. If they can trigger you, they have a sick little bond with you. So you don't give them that kind of, so you get away as far as possible. Even if they're not like an actual narcissist, if there's just someone that has like that tendency to have the attention on them this week, let them spiral out of control. You know what I'm saying? Like just let them, that's their free will. Like just let them do what they're choosing to do with their free will. So looks like we're going to be feeling it all week. On Friday, the 21st, we have the moon in Virgo, sweet little Virgo, trining over to the North Node in Taurus, and then also to Uranus in Taurus. I wish this also showed the North Node. It only shows the South Node. Anyway, so maybe something came to a head Wednesday, Thursday, some kind of crescendo in that Libra, Capricorn area of your life, and you had to, something happened, and now the circumstances are more supportive of building up that confidence for the future. So this is really, I'm calling Friday Make Hay While the Sun Shines, because you're going through the details, taking care of your business, so you're solving some problems, you're solving issues, you're making your repairs, you're ordering the replacements, you're ordering the parts, you know, like all of those little detail things for the Taurus area of your life. So this could even be an increase in communications, or circumstances could just be in response to whatever was maybe coming up earlier in the week. but not necessarily, doesn't necessarily have to be. It's however you're using the energy. So there may be more little things to tend to in the Virgo area of life, but it may be brought about because of some surprises or shocks or new information coming up. LOL, yes, chocolate for dinner. Guys, it was exciting. It was really exciting living in my little hut in Los Angeles during the pandemic, and there was like smoke and people were calling me from out of state like, no, are you okay? And I was having my gift basket groceries, like, you know. When you are truly healed, when you are truly abundant, when you are truly manifesting whatever it is that you want to like embody and be, it's absence of fear. No worries, no stress. Everything happening is happening in my best interest. Everything happening. You don't, if you're truly abundant, you don't fear or lose sleep over any losses because it's making way for something better. It's clearing your deck for something else. It's not useful to you. And you can always create more when you're a confident creator. So I think of Howard Roark a lot. Howard Roark, my mother turned me on to that freaking story. So amazing. And he just went to work in the quarry for a long time until he could build buildings the way he wants to build his buildings. And he was totally chill. Like he was like confident the entire freaking movie, the court appearance, all of that. Oh, Carl, thank you. The rose and the lion and the little crown. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the love. You know, and I kind of think of Howard Roark and, you know, like, all right, everything's falling apart. If I'm going to be, you know, if Los Angeles is going to break apart and go into the ocean, I guess I'm there, you know, like whatever it was, like I was just like chilling. So, you know, it's good to, when you see stuff crumbling around you, to not let yourself think that there's nothing after that. There's always something after. There's the fucking story always fucking continues, you know. You think you killed yourself and you wake up, you know. It's that kind of disappointment. So it's like, sorry to go dark, but you know, Friday, keep a light schedule on Friday because you might have to tend to something that comes up kind of out of nowhere. And that actually, all right, I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, something might just come up that, and it could even be inspiring, like you get a great idea or you have whatever, you know, you're house sitting for a friend and the neighbor invites you over and you meet someone at the dinner part, whatever, you know. So just go with the flow. It's cool. All right, let's move on. I remember a video you made collecting bags from delivery. You jumped a fence. You had a big talk. Oh, that was Oso. That was a huge dog. That was a huge German Shepherd. That was Oso and Trudy. I did jump that fence. That was like a 6-foot tall fence, but I love to climb. So, oh, whoa, okay. Had to become like water and flow. Yes. That's such a pretty name. It's pretty. I want to see the new mermaid. Oh, mother, let's see. Okay, Saturday. Welcome to Saturday, everybody. Saturday the 22nd. I'm calling it reality check as Saturn stations. Fuck. Oh my god, you guys. I am such a Saturn baby, and I am so ruled by Saturn that I am like, I'm really, really, really happy that this is finally happening. Like, I am so, if you're an Aquarius, if you're a Capricorn, if you have heavy Saturn aspects in your chart, whatever, Saturn in your first house, whatever. Whew. All right, here we go. Finally, so Saturday is like the big day. The week, it's little dramas that are dying out to make way for the big dramas. And the big dramas, all the big stuff starts probably more closer to Saturday. So Saturday, reality check is Saturn stations, but there's also Mercury and Libra trining over to Saturn, but there's also the Sun, Venus, Cazimi. I'm going to start with Saturn stationing direct. So Saturn stationed retrograde on June the 4th of this year. So June, July, August, September, and a half of October. 4 months, like 4.5 months. We have been slogging through karma and dealing with the karmic kickbacks from the previous 6 months. So, you know, this whole summer, everything since the beginning of June, we've been having to go over something else. So finally, when Saturn stations direct, it's also meaningful because they will enter into the sign of Pisces on March the 7th. So we're going to have Saturn direct now until March the 7th. Saturn will ingress into Pisces. And even when Saturn goes retrograde in Pisces, they will not retrograde back into Aquarius. They get to the 0th degree of Pisces, like 0 degrees 30 minutes or something super close, but they will not enter Aquarius again for 30 years. So since March 2020, what have you, this is it. Like, you cannot, we're done studying for the test. Like, we didn't study, we're fucked. So the last 6 months should be really good. It should be rewards. Saturn rewards with structure and stability and security and integrity. Saturn wants things to fit and to be whole and to stay together. Saturn is glue. So even when you have difficult Saturn aspects in synastry, you know, like Moon Saturn, if you have like Moon Saturn squares, that's glue. That's still gluey. But with a square, it's like one wants to be close and the other one wants to focus on the career. And then when that one with the career is ready to be cuddly and close, the other one wants to focus on their career. Or, you know, you go time without talking or spending time together, and then it's a very, you know, emotional reunion, and you get into but it's still glue. It could be feeling like this is a serious person. You know, you hear about people that don't date someone because they feel like they have to marry them or that they're going to be very serious with them. So they're like, I'm not even gonna mess with that right now. You know, I'm gonna go be. Ooh. You hear my shoulders crack? You're gonna go be like a free little, I don't know, whatever. But that's Saturn in synastry. That's also Saturn in your natal chart. Saturn, where you have Saturn in your natal chart is where you really mature and you really grow. And it could feel very disharmonious until your first Saturn return. Like, I've been studying astrology since, actually, I remember being a very small child and finding my mother's astrology books. And she had one little one, like one of those little, like at the bookstore near the checkout, they had those little chunky little square books. She had one of those on astrology. And so I remember looking at the symbols and everything. It's like forever. But anyway, Saturn in my 7th house always said that I was going to learn the most through relationships. And that did not resonate because I was such a loner. I didn't get it. I still have a lot of trouble understanding people, like getting it, you know, because a lot of human behavior just doesn't make sense. A lot of these constructs just like really don't make like logical sense to me. So it's still a thing, but it's a lot better since I went through my first Saturn return. Anyway, Saturn station direct in Aquarius, wherever that Aquarius area of your life is, this should be where you're now ready to take on more on your plate and really manage it and really handle it and really, like, this is your time to shine. This is your time to prove how great you can be with your integrity, upholding your beliefs. It's a fixed sign. You know, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo energies, they're designed to keep it going. They're designed to just kind of not really like innovate. They're really like, I can wake up at 5 a.m. every morning and go work out. Like, that's fixed sign energy. I feel like they make the best fitness instructors or the best like motivational people because they can be consistent with that. Whereas mutable energy doesn't want to really commit. Cardinal energy will want to start something new. So, you know, this Saturn in Aquarius, we've had back-to-back Saturn in Saturn ruled signs. So it's going to be really different next March, and because of a lot of reasons, but this is one of those a lot of reasons. So Saturn stationing direct is a very powerful time. There will probably be something very clearly revealed to you. Probably something that you can make the most of, that you've earned since March of 2020. Yeah, since spring of 2020. So wherever you were very resilient, since in the Aquarius area of your life, since spring of 2020, that resiliency developed into a strength that now you're going to get a fucking bone and you need to run with it. Like if you gotten this in March of 2020, it would have went right over your head. You wouldn't have made the most of it. You might not have even recognized it. You probably would have wasted it or just squandered it, something. But now that you've learned how to be grateful, how to not take things for granted. And I knew that was going to happen because that first year of Saturn in Aquarius, we had Jupiter in Aquarius. So I just knew that there was going to be less support. So it was really, I think it was like really this year when Jupiter entered Pisces that we didn't have as much support to do all the stuff. So, you know, when Saturn stations direct at 18 degrees, see what you've earned, see what you've gained in wisdom, see what you've learned. Don't be afraid to lose anything. People, situations, relationships, money, living situations. Don't lose the lesson. So just look at the lessons you've learned since, speaking of which, that's my second house, and my eating and my eating healthier. Like, look at that. Like, spring of 2020, I was eating out of gift baskets, and now I'm having like now I have like buckwheat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like very, very, very a lot healthier now. So all right, so that's Saturday, but also Saturday is the Sun Venus cazimi. This is weird because here we've got the cazimi at the end, dramatic anaretic degree of Libra, and then they're actually going to move together into Scorpio. Damn. Look at that. Yeah. And then we're going to be like in the freaking, we're really going to be in eclipse energy. So let me just put this back. No, we were on Saturday. Okay. So 29 degrees. You can think back to January the 8th of this year. That is when we had the last cazimi. That was the interior conjunction of the Sun and Venus. It was in the sign of Capricorn. And since then, you've been learning how to really appreciate Capricorn and the Capricorn area of your life. And you've been learning how to feel more loved up but it's a very reaching energy from January until October the 22nd. It's been more of like a new moon to full moon energy. And so it's just been increasing. And this is very exciting because on Saturday, that Sun Venus cazimi in Libra is now turning into an evening star, where you were building up the value in the Capricorn area of life. And now it's like the full moon energy where you're going to be receiving in the Libra area of your life. Like you're going to be, it's like it's going to disperse. Whereas from January to October, it was more like searching and building and discovering, but kind of more like that hunger for it and really figuring it out. Whereas, well, Venus is still going to be burnt up by the sun for a little bit. So there will be more that's revealed, but you may intuit or you may feel it or you may see some of the value in something. And it could very well be a relationship. It could very well be a connection, a partnership. And this could be for, friendship, love. It could be romance, it could be business. It could be, anything of familial relationships could really improve, whatever it is. But you're going to see more of that. Actually, let me see. Probably 29. God, I thought that was my neighbor's dog. Okay. Well, so that's someone's confirmation around November the 21st. We're probably going to see it more like when we get into Sagittarius land, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's go back to where we are today. Anyway, so, but it's there, it's happening. Something is still popping off. Hello, welcome in. Okay. All right. So that's a big deal. Like Venus, there's actually there's interesting, I mean, read up about Venus, morning star, evening star, Lucifer, all this stuff. It's quite interesting. Beyond the scope of this horoscope for the week, but nevertheless, very interesting if you want to do any independent research. So this 𝚘𝚎 is it's a reset, but it's also where it's a little bit more fertile, I would say, where you're going to be really benefiting from these correct partnerships and that kind of a thing. So you might even like see something in someone that you didn't think was there or didn't know was there. It could even be something like that too. Okay, so also on Saturday, we have Mercury at 18 degrees of Libra, trining over to Saturn. Let me just make sure I wrote that. Yeah, I did write that down, right? Trining over to Saturn on Saturday. Milk it, you guys. Really milk it. This is like, use the last of your Libra energy, like not only with this 𝚘𝚎 in Libra, but also that Mercury trine over to Saturn. Is this happening when they're still retrograde? Mm, 1844. Okay, wow. That's very interesting. So milk it, you guys. Discussions on Saturday, relationships, be as amenable, be nice, be kind. Everyone will be nice probably, but not everyone will be kind. That'll be part of the subtext, and that's like people are not going to have too long to be superficial and unkind. Okay, so like Saturday, like if you're kind, you'll look even better and you'll feel even better rather than trying to uphold some kind of facade or, like that fakery or anything. So Saturday could bring like a very momentous conversation, or you may be putting together an epic plan. Someone could have epic news to share in or about a relationship. And it looks like it might be talking about the past as far as like renegotiating terms or talking about just changes you want to make with the plans. But you'll benefit not just from being kind, but from being mature, learning the lesson, talking about the lesson, talking about, maybe this is like I talk about what I learned, you talk about what you learned, and we all talk about what we learned, learning the lessons, talk it out with someone that you trust. Or you can also maybe just reflect and think about relationships and just think about partnerships, and just like it might be much more solitary for you, especially if you're like maybe actually if you're a Scorpio rising, this might be like a whole huge outing of a secret or discussion or talking about your feelings, but that was a bad example. But anyway, it might just be more of a personal, private day where you're internally reflecting on your relationships, and maybe you're thinking like, wow, like no one really loves me. Or you might just think about the couple people in your life that you can really count on, that really care about you, that really love you. Or, like it might just put values into a very different perspective, where you just see people and the people around you differently, and people are about to give up the facade and care more about what's real. So, people won't care so much about having a lot of flimsy, flim-flam attention. They'll care more about people they could really count on, people they could really trust, because they believe in them, they believe in each other, or they've proven maybe with this trying to Saturn retrograde that you've already proven, this relationship has already proven itself. I've already proven myself. I just have to believe in myself, or, you know, and you're like, you have a whole new appreciation for something or someone. Any of these areas of life, Libra, Aquarius, you know, so someone or something, some idea, some conversation could take up most of your Saturday, or just internal reflecting. Something can come up to the surface of your awareness where you really see, depending on what area of life this is, where it's like, this is really for me, you know, like whether it's like people or not, doesn't matter, but like depending on where this is in your chart, especially if this is aspect any personal planets. So, you know, commitments could be made, conversations, people could be coming across as very serious and wise and stable and trustworthy, and, you know, so it looks really pretty cool. But it's cool if you're okay with being mature and being serious and like owning your energy and being kind and being, you know, confident from wisdom, not confident, not like ego confidence. If that makes sense. Self-mastery. Confidence from self-mastery versus inflated fake confidence from ego stuff. Okay. Let's move. Ooh, mother of pearl. Hold on. There we go. Sunday, October the 23rd. I'm calling it hot-blooded because Scorpio. She's a Scorpio rising. That's funny. That'll be a huge one then for you, for that 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚗. That could be a huge beneficial moment for your mental health, or for some kind of like letting go of some kind of relationship issue that had been really bothering you, or very painful for you. It could be very like, oh, let it go, or just some kind of relief. Sunday, I am calling it hot-blooded because, as you can see here, bam, it's about to get really real with the Sun and Venus together moving into the 0th degree of Scorpio. That is so intense. That is so intense. It's very intense because the dispositor is Mars, because Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, and Mars is fucking sitting there, fucking moving, not doing anything. And that's not really of the nature of Mars. Let me just say that. Mars, so whatever you have, wherever your planets are, whatever signs they're in, it's like a permanent transit. So like me, I have my Mars in Aries. For me, Mars is always in Aries. I never move forward in my life. I never, you know, I mean, we'll talk about progressions another time, but it's like you always feel like that transit is on for you. So when you have transits to that planet, things get a little disruptive. This one's pretty friendly to me, so I'm not worried about it. But for you, it might be a little bit different, you know, especially if you have any mutable sign placements or fixed sign placements. You guys are the ones really kind of going through it right now, especially if you're a Taurus or Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I mean, any really of the fixed signs, Aquarius and Leo as well, but especially Taurus and Scorpio. So Venus and the Sun have to make the best of what they've got. But their host, Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, is having second thoughts and is not really that strong, not feeling that great, about to just like flip the switch, maybe even cut an option out of our life. So it's just, the world turns black and white on Sunday. It's very hot-blooded. People are probably just pooping their pants about something. People are probably just, now, that might be a great thing for sex, dating, love, romance, creativity, passion, play, career, renovating, what's that called? Flipping houses with your family. If you and the whole family bought a house and you're going to flip it, and everybody grabs a hammer and a whatchamacallit, and you all start rebuilding this house, and then you sell it. That, you know what I'm saying? Like finding great ways to channel intense energy. You got to like burn it off or work it off because otherwise it stews, it stays in your head and in your heart, and the energy does not move. You need to move the energy through, okay? And then people really just spiral out of control and self-destruct. So, you know, Sun and Venus, 0th degree of Scorpio, going to be passing the South Node. We are going to have a solar eclipse here, but it's on the South Node, a penumbral partial solar eclipse on Tuesday, so I'm going to kind of talk about it now. The moon is in Libra at 10 degrees. I always tell you guys, when the moon is in the sign before it's a new moon, don't tweak out about your life. Don't future trip, don't fear spiral before the new moon. People always freak out about life right before the new moon. It's okay. It's like a big void. And even like on a new moon, a solar eclipse is going to be having the power of 3 new moons wrapped into one. A lunar eclipse is going to have the power of 3 full moons. God, my fucking fingers are so fucking long. Into one. Like ET. Into one. So, you know, you're right about to start something super huge and monumental and very big. So that moon in Libra might tweak out a little bit. Like, what is that? Sunday? Yeah, Sunday, Monday. That moon in Libra could definitely freak out about life, only because their dispositor, the moon and Mercury, is Venus. Venus is in Mars' sign. Mars is fucking standing still. So emotionally and mentally, you know, people, and this is about the future again. People are afraid to let go of things that are very familiar. Even if it's bad for them, people are like, well, that's all I know. It's what I'm used to. The Scorpio energy is not going to want to let it go. It's not going to want to give it up. Swag. Oh, what a cute little emoji. Great to be here. My birthday is when I said, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Wilkommen. So Sunday energies could just be very down. It could be very, also a little bit obsessive, also a little bit like overcompensating. That Libra moon sometimes just tweaks out like, did I do something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Or, you know, trying to own more of the energy just to keep the peace, just so they have the power to just say sorry to everybody so that everyone could just be chill again. Not really the right thing to do. So just again, it's going to be kind of a big weekend for relationships, and not just the ones that you're in, the ones that you have, but your relationship to things, your relationship to your family, your people, but also your physical stuff, your relationship to money, your relationship to your own self-esteem, your relationship to your own mortality, your relationships to everything. So, you know, Sunday is honestly burning something away. I see this as a huge cigarette butt in, you know, out of life. Like the Libra Scooby-Doo fucking, the mask gets ripped off of your face, and the Scorpio truth, the naked ugly truth, is there, and it's maybe a little bit horrific or something. So burning artificial away. People are going to be edgy. Again, this is very safe being activated. So basic needs, people could be very fearful that their basic needs are not going to be met. I don't even know how long I went without toilet paper or like groceries, but I made it. I'm here, you know, like it's all fine and good, you know, so I'm ready. I'm always ready. I don't want to say I'm always ready to die, but like I am. So when you don't, I'm telling you guys, like use this Scorpio solar eclipse, the drama week leading up to the big drama, to let go of fear itself. You fear losing your $1 million in your bank account. Work on getting rid of that fear. Believe in yourself that you can generate another $1 million in your bank account. Fear of losing the relationship. Work on getting rid of that fear. Don't be meddling in the relationship, because that's what you're going to see this week, is people overcompensating about whatever it is that they're very, very fearful of. And I want you guys, because you're under my tutelage here on the YouTube group and also on Patreon, to work on getting rid of the fear itself. But when you feel it come up, check it, identify it, write it down somewhere so that you know what to surgically remove, because you can with the Scorpio energy Sunday forward, and then with this eclipse next week. That's really what the point is. That's really kind of like the focus, with the North Node being in such a resilient, strong, sturdy bull sign of Taurus. So I don't want to say bombs are about to drop, because that could be in your personal life. There could be secrets ready to come out. There could be admissions. There could be also, this could also have to do with anything having to do with sexuality, secrets. I don't know if I would pick the time now to come out with that. Stay in the closet. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, like, people, you know, whatever, financial secrets, if you have to disclose something, just do it all on the up and up. Because if you're cooking your books, you're going to get caught on the Mars square Neptune. If you, whatever anyone's doing, trying to be secret and sly and underhanded and backdoor, all of that's going to blow up in people's faces. And it's going to be like, I don't want to watch that. Like, none of us, I mean, on a movie and a TV, that's great writing. You know what I'm saying? Great story. Great. But like, we don't want to see that in your personal life, right? So, you know, also wear condoms, wear protection, do all of the things, take extra precautions, be even more adamant about your boundaries, because Scorpio rules not just the bonds that we have with other people, but the boundaries that we erect, that we put in place, that we reinforce to protect ourselves, to protect what's inside of those boundaries. So whether that's a physical boundary, whether it's a financial boundary, whether it's a sexual boundary, a resource boundary, whatever it is, there's probably going to be some correcting of those boundaries, or reasserting where they are, letting people know this is where the line is. This is the boundary, right here, right over here. And if they push back on that, if anyone pushes back on you asserting your boundary, or if they're you know, fake about it and they go right back to trying to cross your boundary again or pushing on the boundary again, that's exactly where their respect for you ends. And now you know that they don't respect you. They don't respect you. They don't want to respect you. They don't want to learn to respect you. They want to get away with whatever they want. Ego, huge ego stuff. But you guys know that big ego stuff is an overcompensation for a very, very low self-esteem. So that's why I'm saying, like, people are going to be so much more transparent than they think. You know, it's like watching a small child think that they're getting away with something and everybody can fucking see it. So just stay on the up and up, keep your nose clean, stay, what do I preach here? The 3-word manifesto: truth, love, and integrity to yourself and for others. And know yourself well enough to take yourself out of a situation if you cannot trust yourself, if you feel like you're going to overreact, if you feel like you're going to react instead of respond. Take yourself out of the boardroom, take yourself out of the meeting, take yourself out of the room, take yourself out of the situation. It'll be the absolute best thing for you. It's the next best thing that you can do, is just take yourself out of it. I'll be back. I'll be back. You know, let yourself go back when you can trust yourself to have smart responses, to do smart things, to take smart action. That's how I'd like to see you guys use this, because this Sun, Venus, and Scorpio, we're going to be going into the eclipse. It's a new start, but there's a wiping away of something else too. Can't go back to the way it was before. This could be a huge release and letting go of things you want to hold on to with your death grip. And I'm trying to prep you guys by identify your biggest fears and then trying to work on getting rid of the fear of loss, whatever that is that you feel like you're fearful of losing. Think about your Madam President taking multiple showers a day and ordering out of Amazon gift baskets, and say, hey, it was okay. She made it. I can lose this. I can lose this job, house, partnership. I can lose this company. I could lose this project. I could lose this wife, husband. I could lose all of that. I could lose it. It's okay to render, release, let it go. If it's trying to leave my life, I have to let it go. I have to let it walk through. If it was meant to return, it'll come back. Like all of that kind of a thing. That is true power. That is the truest power of Scorpio. That's how you go from the scorpion Scorpio to the eagle. I don't know why I animate, but maybe it helps someone. To the eagle Scorpio, like flying above and just like seeing everything below. Okay. What else? Mars retrograde, solar eclipse, running big military comes. Oh, thank you for that reminder. So here's what I think. We're probably going to get like that close to war and then not go to war. I feel like we will probably get really, really close, and the fear is going to be through the roof, and everyone's going to be really scared. But we'll probably pull back, or the whole thing, maybe like more like a Cuban Missile Crisis type of a thing. Hey family, should be in this format. I might go live more to save some time. I love editing videos though, so we shall see. We shall see. Okay, let's see. That Sun, Venus burning everything away. I mean, I like Scorpio season because I like it real. See, I just like it real. It's easier. I think it's easier. I know you Libra Sun, Moon, Risings are cringing right now, and you're like, no, no, clutching your little pearls. But anyway, I think that's everything I have to. Honestly, when the week ends with this, the Moon in Libra, people are gonna be tweaking out. People are gonna be freaking out. So you either get away from them and meditate yourself, or yeah, do that no matter what. Meditate. Clear your space, do what's in your power, do everything in your control, what's in your power, and then let the rest go. We say that all the time, but it's even more important now because we're in eclipse time, an eclipse window, and the changes that are happening are very unpredictable and they're outside of your control. They're going to change up the timelines. If you thought you were moving next fall, now you have to move in 30 days. Or if you thought you were going to leave your job next year, you have to go now. Or, you know, it's like timelines for things could change. If anything happens with your resources, your status, any of that Scorpio Taurus stuff, sit tight, let it air out. Don't try. The only damage control you should be doing is correcting people about your integrity and your boundaries and like who you are as like a character, as a person, and making sure that that's clear. But everything else, do not try to the thing with eclipses, it's better to respond instead of initiate. And if you take big action on eclipses, it'll likely go in a very unpredictable, wild way that you could not have anticipated it would go. That's the deal. You have more power when you respond to eclipse energy. But here's the thing, save your dignity. If someone is breaking up with you from now until mid-November, save your dignity and let it go. Let it go. Let them go. You don't want to beg to stay with someone at eclipse time. When someone breaks up on an eclipse, and that might surprise the person breaking up with you, because they might think, yeah, this is dead and done, they're not going to care. And then they break up, and then you have this huge reaction, and it surprises them. And you're like, whoa. Whatever ends at eclipse time and eclipse portals is usually irreversible. It's usually over forever, deep, strong, irreversible changes, never going back to the way it was before. So that's why I'm saying save your dignity and don't beg to stay. Don't beg to go back. I did a 3 movie at the Natalie Plex on what was like Friday, back to back to back. I watched How I Learned to Love the Bomb. Then, no, I ended with 300. What was the movie in the middle? Oh, 8 Mile. I think I saw 8. I think I watched 8 Mile. Oh, you guys. Okay, real quick. Okay. So I was watching 8 Mile. Yeah. So how to love the bomb, how I learned to love the bomb, 8 Mile, then 300. But the 300 thing, I was thinking like, I would kill any one of my men to take over your land. And Leonidas goes, and I would stand next beside any one of my men. You know, like different leadership styles, like Xerxes versus King Leonidas. But guys, I had no idea what EMINEM was, astrologically speaking, and I never looked it up, and I never, well, let me just write a whole separate thing here. So that we're talking about EMINEM now. I went and moved my better half from Montana to upstate New York, so I traveled close to 5K miles and hit 15 states in 2 weeks. Oh my God, Justin. Wow. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. Guys, I feel like I might be getting a little bit. All right, I'll save that for another discussion another time. But I looked it up, and I had no idea what to guess for EMINEM. Like, I have no idea what this dude is. Like, astrologically, sun, moon, rising, I got nothing. Like, using my astro brain, got nothing. I even used my little psychic spidey senses. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. I look him up, you guys. This man is a Libra. Not only is EMINEM a Libra, but he's got a stellium in Libra. And he's so combative, but you can see how Libras can keep it real. Libras can keep it real. So everyone's an individual, but yeah, the injustice for him was just so epic, and he just felt so strongly about it. And you know, at the core, the good Libras really do care about equality and fairness and justice, and they won't hesitate with the scales. They can be judge and jury a little bit, but then also when the sword comes down. But get this, EMINEM also has his moon in Aquarius. A man after my own heart, just like I do. Who else has? I think Marilyn Monroe has her moon in Aquarius. I'm trying to think of people that I remember. But anyway, I think John Malkovich has his moon in Aquarius too. I think he does. But that Aquarian energy in Aquarius, like, you know, like those really big blue, like intense, like scientific person eyes, like very, very funny. Anyway, but last thing I want to say about EMINEM is that his Libra stellium trines his Aquarius moon, and it also trines his Saturn in Gemini. His Mercury is part of his, it's like wow, like just wow, like the ability for this man to like work so hard is just like incredible. Anyway, so that's what we have for this week, you guys. Thanks for popping on Sunday and keeping me a little bit of company. And I hope you guys remember, enjoy the week. You know, it's going to be dramatic, but it's only going to be the pre-drama before the big drama. So don't blow your load on this week. Leave that for other people. It's like everyone's going to see the change coming, and people are going to try to fight it this week, but you can't stop it and you can't fight it. So let them spiral out of control safely over there, and you keep your head down to do your own thing. Don't let anything distract you, whether it's the media or the news or fucking whatever the fuck. Like, don't give your power away to anything or anyone. You stay focused. Okay? Okay, my loves. Your sign will be seen. Something coming on. Yay! All right, my dearies. I will check in on you next time. Oh, that is so very bright. Until then, my loves, many, many, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.